Scrubbalicious people. It's Suncear from Suncear Wellness, and there's Myda from the Shared Edge. I think you're over here. And together, the work we do is Edge of the Sun work, which is basically helping people break up some, stagnant energy that's stopping them from flowing wonderfully into their lives. So, if you're just stopping for the first time onto our scrub, what we usually do here is we do a little astro talk, and then Mida will, play the bowls. I will simultaneously be doing some Reiki, and then we end up talking about whatever came up, whatever messages came up during that sesh. So, is there anything that you want to add to that, Mida, before I jump into this month's topic?
No, I don't think so. I think, just get yourself comfortable. If you have headphones, that helps with the meditation part. And I guess generally we do this whole scrub is usually around 15 to 20 minutes, like this whole little session. So, carve out that little time for yourself. If not right now, then, at some point later. So you can get the full effect.
Cool. So, today we're going to talk about gem season. Gem is truly outrageous. And Mida is a Gemini, if you can't tell. And she's a
And
gem,
Gemini rising.
a
Double
double gem. A double gem. In more ways than one, you're a gem. So, so
Thanks.
anywho, as you know, with Geminis, or most of us know, Geminis represent the twins or the duality that we all kind of carry within us. It's just that Geminis tend to be more prominent with their duality. It's ruled by Mercury, which Mercury is the planet of thoughts and ideas, and there's also a whimsical element to Mercury as well as just Geminis in general. Like Geminis are thinkers, analyzers, they're people who come up with great ideas, they're very creative. And on the other hand, they're also people who can be very playful and youthful and again whimsical and effervescent. And so there's kind of these two sides going on when Midas like, yeah, that's pretty true. So
There's also a dark side to the Geminis. I'm not mentioning, but thank you.
so so there's the thinking aspect of us, and then there is the more feeling aspect that again that we all have with us. And I kind of like to think of it also as sort of masculine feminine traits, because the masculine side, which is represented by fire and air, is always about do and thinking and over analyzing whatever. And then the earth and water elements, which are more feminine, have to do with being more receptive and listening and going with the flow and being more patient with things. So I also like to think of this as being sort of a head and heart issue as well, because we live in our heads a lot, because the masculine sides of ourselves, because we all carry these masculine feminine dualities, or traits I should say. The masculine side is celebrated more than the feminine aspects. So we've been very heavily tilted towards masculine, not feminine, and so a lot of us have lost those parts of ourselves. And so I like to think that the head is representative of the masculine, and the heart is representative of the feminine. And that is why we're going to talk about getting into our hearts, getting out of our heads and into our hearts. Um, what else do I need to say about that? I guess I was gonna say sort of an example of that, because I think this is something we all really could um, kind of learn how to do a little bit more. I know I'm doing it personally. This actually is really speaking to me today. But I'll use an example of social media and how folks tend to, especially when you're trying to sell something, when you're using social media from a business perspective. A lot of people think that they're doing the right things by they're doing the right hashtags, and they're using the trending music, and they're doing da da da. It's like they're checking off all the things they're supposed to do, but then there are people over here who are like pouring tea, okay, and they're getting way more, likes and engagements and whatever, because there's something about them being true to themselves and sharing themselves. And I think there's a more heartfelt approach to that than just kind of being so mechanical about what you're sharing on social media, if that makes sense. I just wanted to use that as an example because I felt like that was a good one because I think a lot of us kind of fall into that. Like, why don't we get it? How come we're not getting these many likes and blah, blah, we're doing all the right things. So if anybody has any other, examples of that, please do share in the comments because I feel like there's a lot of them, but I don't want to go on and on. I just think that, again, moving from the head to the heart is something that is actually pretty difficult. It's something that we've been conditioned to do all of our lives, is to be in our heads. I mean, how many artists are actually in accounting school right now? You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it's just, we're constantly thinking that we have to do it a certain way, or we're not feeling it. We're not in our hearts and in our souls and spirits. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Mhm. And it
Talk
takes a
about
lot of
that.
practice because, like you said, we're so conditioned, from like such an early age. Like, focus on your grades. You got to get into good school. If you don't get into good school, you're not going to get a good job. So we're always kind of in that track. And so it's really hard to kind of veer into the heart track. But, it's just practice. And so the more you can kind of like just check in, and we'll do a little sort of check in practice here. But the more you can do it, the more you can kind of realign yourself to moving from your heart and then aligning the mind to it. So it's not like we don't want to have like just like poo poo mind. I'm not going to worry about my finances. I'm not going to worry about my job. I mean, maybe, sometimes we got to go that route, but ultimately we want them to be aligned so that, the finances sit in a bigger basket. It's not like consuming you, or your job isn't consuming you, that there's a deeper purpose and a deeper love that's sort of, the foundation for all that you do. So that's what we'll try and do today. Sound good?
Yes. And thank you for saying that because it really is a balance. Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
agree. I mean, the masculine's there for a reason, the feminine's there for a reason.
exactly,
Either one
exactly.
is more important than the other. But yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this portion, yeah, I guess 5-10 minutes. We'll see where we go. But again, just get yourself pretty comfortable. You can lie down if that's comfortable. Um, where if you have headphones, they're recommended, but don't worry, the sound vibrations will still move through, phone speakers or laptop speakers, as will Suncear's Reiki that she will send over to us. And if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. And to start, we'll actually go into the mind because that's really where we are a lot of our days. Even a lot of our nights, we spend up in there. So just let yourself tune into the workings of the mind. What's the thought stream that is currently being run through your system? Maybe it's in the form of a task or to-do list. Don't worry about things that you need to get done or haven't gotten done. Just let yourself see it all, because it's always there. The little chitter chatter in the background of your life. You might get carried away by a particular thought. All of a sudden you end up someplace else. And you're like, how did I think about that? But bring yourself back to just seeing all of the thoughts as they come and go. And then take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale it out through the mouth. allow your awareness to just drift down into the body. Maybe it rests in the heart space. You can even feel it, and just bring your attention to the area in the center of your chest. Or maybe it feels a little better to just bring it down deep into your gut or into the lower belly. Space around that physical area. So if you feel any tightening through the chest or in the lower ribs or in the belly, just soften the muscles around that space. As if the thoughts were just individual droplets that have returned down to a very deep, large, settled pool of crystalline water. Start to widen in this space. It doesn't have to go anywhere in particular. It just starts to broaden. So you might bring into your awareness the physicality of your body against the ground or against its support. Letting the container by which you experience them grow wider. Take a deep breath in and a long sigh out. And before opening your eyes, just let your attention continue to rest in that physical space that you were holding yourself, a little bit lower and deeper than the head or the mind. Just notice if there is any physical tension or grasping or resisting against a release. And use just your ability to relax the body as best as you can. Whether it means unclenching the belly or relaxing through the back of your body or through the chest. So that the mind has a physical anchor deeper in the heart. And you can know that you're always connected to the space as long as you just take a moment to step back inside. And then when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Hope that went okay for everyone. I know I feel good. I always feel better after I kind of like drop down a little bit away from the mind.
I agree as well. I definitely feel more grounded because I think I was a little airy when I first came on. So I definitely feel more earthy. So let's talk about what showed up. So the first thing I saw was an owl, and I have been seeing owl medicine like daily. So clearly there's something going on there. But the first thing I thought of was wisdom, because there's a wisdom in our heart as well. I think some when we think of wisdom, we constantly think of like what we know, knowledge, what we learned in school, whatever. But it's like there is knowledge in our heart. There's things that we carry with us. And right after that, I saw a turtle, and so that made me think of even ancestral knowledge or something that we carry around. We're carrying, things that happen in past lives, things that happen in lineages. It's all in our DNA and all in our cellular memory. So we have a lot of wisdom in our heart as well. It's not just in our heads. I saw a dove, which made me, of course, think of peace. I'm sure that the dove means something else, but there's also a certain innocence to a dove. So it just made me think of how it brings more peace to us. Like we need to calm down our minds and just kind of have some peace. Whatever we need to do to quiet the mind is what I'm getting at here. And then I saw a kitchen, which was pretty random.
What
Okay,
was
so
it?
a kitchen,
Oh,
like a kitchen where you cook stuff. And I was like, okay, is that supposed to be like, again, a family gathering thing? I didn't see anybody in the kitchen. So I didn't know if it was like reminiscent of mom, because moms, historically, whatever, traditionally, whatever you want to call it, in the kitchen. I wasn't sure if it was that, because there was mom energy that came up really shortly after. I saw Hathor, and I also felt Mother Mary energy. Both of them are obviously archetypes of the mother. So again, this is, to me, coming across like feminine energy, divine feminine energy, which I didn't mention before, but that's, again, we have divine masculine, we have divine feminine. Speaking of divine masculine, I did see a diamond. The diamond reminds me, it's like diamond light, and it reminds me of Christ consciousness, or, just knowing that we're all divine. And so that's a knowledge that will give us some peace, and that's a knowledge that will help us live from the heart as well. At one point you were talking about something dropping down, right? And right when you were saying that, I saw a rope. I saw a rope before you said it, and then you said it, and I was like, oh, so I guess that's what the rope was supposed to be for, was connecting. We're going from the mind, dropping down into the heart, and it kind of seemed like there was like a bucket there or something, I don't know, to gather.
like a well.
Yeah, like a well. Yeah, did you say that?
I don't think I said that. Well, I
Oh,
said about like droplets of water landing into the a pool, but I didn't think of the well. But I like the imagery
oh,
for sure.
okay,
Similar.
yeah. I remember the droplets. I didn't hear the well. That's why I was like, oh, maybe she said that, and that's where I got
No,
the
I
well.
didn't hit
Oh,
that.
okay. Okay. And then I saw an iris. I think it was a purple iris. I'm not sure. Wasn't sure if that was for me. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother's name is Iris. Um, and I know she's nearby sometimes. So I don't know if that's what that was. But in any case, I'll assume it's for everyone. And lastly, I saw Queen of Pentacles in tarot and Queen of Cups in tarot as well. Those are super divine feminine, energy cards, right? Because earth, again, earth and water, they both represent that. And those are both feminine, elements. And the Queen of Pentacles is about nurturing, about knowing that you're provided for. And then the Queen of Cups is also nurturing and also just kind of like, um, she's like sitting in front of this like body of water, and it just feels like, again, there's an abundance of loving energy coming from, this. It just feels very heartfelt is all I'm trying to say here. So yeah, I feel like the message here is really about getting more into the divine feminine, whether it's through tarot or whether it's through your ancestors or whether it's through getting in touch with your divinity. These are all ways that you can drop down into that heart space.
Yeah, it's not easy because the rest of the world is sort of like in that masculine mind energy. So, however you have to do it, sometimes it's sound, meditation, going out in nature, being like close to the earth. Any of the ways that you can connect to it is always helpful.
Yes, thank you for saying that too. I did see blades of grass before I saw the Queen of Pentacles. So, ding, you're right on. Because, and maybe even that's what the Queen of Cups was saying too, was to maybe go by bodies of water. I mean,
Hmm.
like you said, being in nature really can help you get more grounded and drop
Yeah.
down. And it fills your cup, if you will. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it really is nurturing to be
Hmm.
in nature. So,
Yeah, because I've been noticing that too. Like just going out to the Rockaways more often and being closer to the beach, you're just in the vastness, and like when you're just like expansive sky, expansive ocean, or expansive like nature, you feel that energy of fullness as opposed to just like here I am in my own little head in my own little room. It's like
yes. Oh, for
so I
sure.
think that's always helpful, at least for me.
Totally. No, I totally agree with you. I think it's also a sign of abundance too. Like there's
Yeah.
just so much there for everybody.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Totally. And please share your comments too, like what comes up for you. How do you tap into moving into that feminine energy of fullness of the heart, of abundance, and how that can start to better anchor the, your days in thoughts, in jobs, in families. So it'd be good to hear from you.
Wow. And tell us how how do you feel about Geminis? Tell it, share your Gemini story. Share with us. Let us
We all
know.
have them.
I know it's true.
Mhm.
We all have that
I will be
duality.
celebrating my birthday all month, as most Geminis do. So feel free to share the love.
Sagittarius do as well. So yeah, I totally get that. Yay.
All right.
Okay, everyone.
Well,
So
have a great Gemini season, everyone.
yes, this wraps it up.
See you next month.
So contact us if you need anything. Check out the MINKA site for other practitioners if you would like to just get some other, work done. If you'd like to explore some other modalities.
Mhm.
See you next
Thanks,
time.
everyone. See ya.